The creative process is constantly in motion. Just like the world is constantly moving, evolving, and changing, the creative process too is connected to those changes. And just like the world is full of uncertainties, this is true also of the creative process. There is always the possibility that some external change or unexpected force comes in and tries to shift the status quo, be it a change in the economy, the emergence of AI, for example, and the development of new technologies, the political landscape, changes in the algorithm on creator platforms, or even sudden life changes. In circumstances like this, it is crucial for creators to develop and sharpen one of the most important skills that they can acquire in the present creator landscape. And that is the quality and the capacity to adapt. Adaptability is an integral part of the creative process as well. Because even if you take out the external factors, the creative process in and of itself involves several moving parts, be it doing research and ideation, learning and improving relevant skills, consistent practice, reflecting on the process, developing a creative vision, thinking of new approaches to style, practicing communication skills like speaking to a camera, or maybe for some it's also building a business idea from their creativity, or maybe it's creating your portfolio or trying to find and grow your audience. The creative process is always in flux. Just take, for example, the script for this episode that you're watching or hearing or both right now. The script of this episode has gone through several major changes. The entire premise and the concept of the script for this episode was completely revised. This was a challenging and outright hard thing to do, as the script for any episode has to function on so many different levels. And I'm telling you this just to emphasize the fact that creating something complex requires a lot of effort. And this is where it's crucial to have a mindset of adaptability, so the creator can remain patient and focused in order to persevere and do what needs to be done to make the work you create good work. So how do people learn to develop and sharpen their ability to adapt? Well, if there's anything I've learned while being a creator, working in the creative industry and producing creative work now for over 10 years, is that first and foremost there needs to be an actual willingness and want to adapt to change. Because in my eyes, this willingness and this core motivation needed to go ahead is directly connected to the relationship that you have with your work and the creative process in itself. Let me tell you a story that will help illustrate this idea better. In 2010, Facebook introduced the groundbreaking concept of ranking, which was a major shift in how the algorithms on these social media platforms worked. Now, the work and content that the creators uploaded to the internet was connected to their current as well as new audiences solely depending on the amount of engagement that this piece of content could generate, as opposed to the previous metrics which involved the frequency of upload and so on. This was a major shift in how social media platforms worked. And soon the other social media giants like YouTube and Instagram followed, because this model proved to be very profitable. But what about the creators? Well, many creators just didn't understand the change in the beginning. They didn't know what to do. They had to figure out what were the new standards for their content and what was working in this new concept of the algorithm. So as you can imagine, at the very start, creators started losing followers, business opportunities and sponsorships, and eventually their money, not knowing what they could do to create work that now fits this new standard of success on these platforms. This inevitably led many to give up, give in, or burn out. And especially the creators who were just starting off were completely demotivated. According to data found in a survey conducted by Vibely, one of the most cited causes of creator burnout was due to the changes in the algorithm, voted at 65%, and due to constantly having to come up with ideas and post to new platforms, which was voted at 51%. But here's why this story is important. Despite all the chaos, challenges, and sudden changes that this new system brought, a few creators emerged stronger than ever. These creators had somehow managed to safeguard themselves from this additional pressure and instead welcomed the change, and as a result learned to find their success and retain their original voice. These are the creators that understood and possessed the mindset of adaptability. To these creators, it didn't matter how everything else around their creation changed. The relationship that they had with their work was first and foremost founded in the joy that they felt in creating that work and the passion that they had for the subject, and as well as their own inherent eagerness to learn something new, as opposed to instant success, likes, and follow accounts. This is how, even after such a major change, these creators remained unfazed and were able to continue doing what they were doing. This is why they never gave up and found a way to make it work. And this does not mean that these creators did not struggle at all during the 2010 change. They totally did. They still had to find other ways to buy themselves time. They had to constantly reflect and re-strategize their process, and some even took long breaks from these platforms in order to re-evaluate their work and approach. But they were willing to do this because they were clear on the relationship that they had with the work and the process. These creators had the ability to adapt to anything. By creating this way and having the willingness to face uncertainty, the creator develops and sharpens their ability to adapt to change.